I'm down to dunk.
And I'm down to dunk.
I'm down to dunk.
This is JDub, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lindy Waters, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Mike Muscala, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Kenneth Williams, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to dunk.
We say this is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
Cracklin Oat Bran?
Have you had Cracklin Oat Bran?
No,
No. Okay.
but it's healthy.
You a big Oak Brand guy?
I'm a big Oat Bran guy.
Okay.
I think I would switch it with Fruity Pebbles.
Okay, eat faster. Don't put as much in the bowl.
If you have a gallon of milk, I can also take home.
You don't have milk at home?
One cinnamon toast.
Okay.
Crunch.
Yeah. Cereal is great. Yeah.
Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me, never, ever on Wednesdays is Michele Berra. Michele, what's up?
Well, this week has been interesting. A lot of podcasting. Yeah, a lot of great topics. I mean,
That's
the
right.
draft in the future or in the past. So that's awesome.
So we're not reacting to anything that's happened over the weekend or Monday, Tuesday, because this is being recorded on Saturday. So Michele was gracious enough with his time to record on Saturday for me so that we get you guys some content while I'm taking some time off. And
How dare you taking time off? It's in the middle of the season. What is this thing?
was actually encouraged by my employer, which was just a delight.
Wow.
Yeah. So they need to get me out of here, apparently. Okay. Let's talk about this 2023 draft. This is it's a very interesting one. I honestly cannot wait for the lottery and for the day of the draft, not only for Thunder purposes, but just because, boy, I have no clue what the order is going to be with these players. Even when we know the draft lottery order, I have no clue. After 1 and 2 is like, yeah, it's a given. But then after that, like, are we sure that Amin Thompson's going 3? Like, are we sure Brandon Miller is going to go in the top 5? Are we sure that Jarris Walker is a top 8 guy? Like, I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Let's I thought we could do a tankathon spin here.
Nice.
And talk about how we would order it, and then once we get to the Thunder, talk about who would be available and who we like in that range. So here we go. I'm simming the lottery. And oh boy, there are so many fun outcomes that happen. This is not a fun outcome for Oklahoma City. They slide to 11
Yeah.
in this draft. They're currently 10th. They slide down to 11, which means that a team has jumped them. And the current draft order is number 1 pick is the Washington Wizards.
Oh, the Wizards jumped also mine, but I have a better draft order than you have. I have the Spurs and the Magic have the 2nd pick, which is amazing for them.
Wow. Yeah, that is amazing for them.
Yeah.
This is not as amazing for the Magic. The Magic get the 3rd pick in this one, and the Pelicans get the 2nd pick by way of the Los Angeles Lakers. And so another big boon for the New Orleans Pelicans. I think that it's safe to say that Wemby and Scoot will go number 1 and number 2.
Yeah.
The Wizards, hey, I'll just say that saves their butts big time. The Wizards. Maybe. Wow. You don't have the same confidence.
I don't know. I mean, it's Wemby looks insanely talented, and I kind of want to go back to the fact that Luka. I mean, I always when I listen to every draft evaluator saying this is the best player since LeBron James. I really think that Luka is overlooked still.
Yeah.
Like he was leading the Euro, he was winning the EuroLeague by himself,
Yeah.
which is incredible. Wemby will not do that.
No.
Like it's the EuroLeague. It's tough. Sometimes it's tougher than the NBA.
Wemby went down. Wemby went down a notch.
Yeah,
To
he's
play
not. He's
this
not
season.
playing real competition. He's playing Pokuševski-like competition. Like maybe not to that degree, but it's the second.
It's not. I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it's that bad, but it's not far off.
Yeah, it's not far off. And I mean, Luka would have put off like 40, 15, and 15 in those leagues. I mean,
there's a reason why he didn't play in that league was because he had so far surpassed it years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So Luka at 16 was playing in a ACB Spain. Yeah. 16. Yeah. So I mean, when I hear this, I always think about Luka and say, yeah, okay, the Mavs are still screwing up a little bit with him. Yeah, so and the Mavs are a better organization than the Wizards. So I don't think that will automatically save them.
Yeah, no, that's a good call.
There's a big chance that Wemby alone will just destroy everyone, and they will do the Twin Towers with Porzingis, and he will average 30, 15, and with 5 blocks. It can happen. I just need to see it. And again, the talent gap is something that we need to have clear in our mind. There is that game against the G League that was a great game for Wemby. So. But it's still the G League, not the EuroLeague. So yeah, allow me for a little bit of. I'm not saying that he will not be an All-Star nor an All-NBA. I have trust that he'll have the chance to be that multiple times. But can he save the Wizards alone? I don't know that yet.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, this is obviously a long shot for the Zards and a long shot for the Pelicans now. But they get Scoot Henderson, I mean, they could definitely use a guy like him. If I were to give them a slot, like that would be one of the slots I would give them. And I think he's not necessarily the best fit with Zion, but Zion is a question mark with his health. And so getting a redo basically, and getting a guy like Scoot Henderson and hopefully Zion gets healthy, but it's hard to count on that. But you get a superstar in Scoot Henderson, it's like ridiculous. Now, Tankathon has the Magic taking Amen Thompson. Thoughts there?
So let's analyze a bit the needs of the Magic. They really need someone who can lessen the burden of on Paolo Banchero, but they also need shooting. So it's Amen Thompson doesn't fit both needs for them. So I mean, it's if you erase everything else that happened this season, I mean, Brandon Miller there would be fun. I mean, he spaced the floor. He will give another body who is nimble enough with his feet and is agile enough where you can trust him to be an adequate defender. And he would just space the court amazingly well. That story is a huge burden, though. And I mean, I can't judge it from here. I'm not reading enough. I'm not following close enough. So it's really tough. If you suppose that Brandon Miller is out of the questions for non-basketball reasons, then I think that you have to bet on Amen Thompson talent, because he is a specimen, and you can think about it this way. I pick him and I just construct the rest of the roster accordingly. And that is something that you can do. He can be a great defender. You have size at every position that way, and it's not the bad way to construct your roster. You can get shooting elsewhere. You can You can pick a guy like Grady Dick later if you really need that. You have Franz Wagner, who is a piece that works perfectly well with Amen Thompson.
Totally.
So you can juggle picks to just find the right pieces to play with. So I think I would go Amen Thompson if nothing gets cleared out on Brandon Miller part. I would just get Amen Thompson.
Yeah. I think so. The Rockets are next in this draft order. I think the Rockets would take Brandon Miller. I don't think that they care about the off-court issues that he's having. And they just
We're picturing the Rockets as one of the worst organizations ever.
They are.
Which they probably are.
They undoubtedly are.
Yeah.
And they're just, I mean, their drafts have just been talent grabs, which may or may not work. It's not working so far. And if they don't get one of these top 2 picks in this draft, it's going to be a huge, huge bummer for them.
Yeah. And also for OKC, I kind of want them to be not terribly bad. Just a smidge better.
Yeah, they may be terribly bad, especially if they don't get James Harden. Here's the thing, is that they've got a ton of money to spend this summer, and they're going to spend it. Promise you that. They're going to bring in veterans that may or may not help them. Like, that's going to happen. But of the remaining players, I think that Brandon Miller is probably going to be the guy. He's probably the most talented. He's averaging the most points out of anybody else, in this, unless they're going to take Chris Murray. They're not taking Chris Murray. So I think that undeniably it's Brandon Miller as far as talent goes. And I think that that's the way that the Rockets will go. 5 with the Pistons, which would be another big bummer for them. They're picking at 5 here again. The Tankathon has them taking Jarris Walker at 5.
Yeah, it's a terrible fit for them. Just a terrible fit. They already have.
They've got bigs.
Yeah,
he would probably be their most talented 4-man.
But do you really want to put your? I don't know. It's
unless you're a beef stew guy.
No, I just am a guy that, like, I don't like to, they seem heavy.
Yeah.
Like, don't you have the same feeling? Like, they don't have guys that can fly around and just hit shots, and
totally.
They don't look like I don't know, a team that can play modern basketball. If you put Jarris Walker there, I mean,
they want to play big. They want to. Play big.
I know that's part. They would probably get Jarris Walker.
He's big, no doubt.
Yeah. I don't know. If I were them, I would just look elsewhere. But we were told that this draft was amazing in terms of depth and talent. I'm not sure I like it all that much.
It's amazing in that I think that there's a lot of role players through like 15 or 16 that you're like, oh yeah, I could see how they make it. But it's not crazy deep, like, oh my gosh, like these guys are going to change franchises. Somebody within this mix will. Somebody within this mix will do it.
Yeah.
Who it is, I don't think anybody has any clue who it's going to be. Just like no one thought JDub would be the player that he is today. No one had any clue. I mean, at this point in the year, last year, at the beginning of March, I mean, he was in the 20s.
Yeah.
People just didn't have any clue who he was going to. So there's going to be somebody that pops here. But I think you're right that there's not anybody within this group that you're just like, man, these are going to be franchise changers. Like, I don't think the Rockets, Pistons, Spurs, Hornets, who all fell in this draft, are necessarily all just going to be super pumped because they find, the missing piece. They may, but it's just not as apparent, Yeah, this draft, I like this draft a lot, especially if the Thunder are picking in like the 7, 8, 9, 10 range, because I do think that it kind of flattens out because the talent, I'm not sure. Like, are we sure that Jarris Walker is that much more talented than Keontae George? Like, boy, the problem is they're so different.
Yeah,
And
they're
like
so different.
to judge
I mean,
the differences is I think is really, really tough.
Keontae George can shoot it like crazy,
Yeah.
but he's small.
Yeah.
It's not super duper small. Isaiah Joe is 6'4", so he's the same size as Isaiah Joe, and he can play a similar role with better playmaking skills.
Yeah, totally.
So he's not the player that you can't see him making it in the league, because
Mhm.
Isaiah Joe is making it in the league.
Yeah.
If he was up for a contract in June, he would probably command like at least the MLE, at least
Yeah, probably so.
being this kind of a shooter. But where we are with the Pistons, I don't know. I mean, if you like to play big, then pick Jarris Walker. I don't think that Oscar Thompson is without. It's a foregone conclusion here. I mean, he's probably in the mix.
Yeah.
He can play off ball.
The problem with them is that they don't play fast, and they play traditional bigs, and that's the problem with taking the Thompson twins. If you're not going to play fast, you're taking away their silver bullet.
I know, but with Ivy and with Duran, if you have a guy like Oscar Thompson that can play both forward positions, maybe you can be a little bit more quicker. At least in getting in transition. So I don't like him Whitmore. I like Riddick, but it's too early. Nick Smith, I don't know. The first few games were, I think, very interesting, but he's
Pistons.
Yeah, it's kind of a high volume, low efficiency guy, which is not the kind of guy that you need. He may be someone that in draft workouts he excels because he's better suited to play certain kind of basketball than the one that he's playing right now. But I don't know. So long story short, I think Jarris Walker is a fine pick here. If OKC was picking here, I would not pick him. I would probably draft someone else. But for the Pistons, I think it at least he fits the mold of what they are building, which I don't support. But
yeah,
hey.
The Spurs slid to 6th in this one. Tankathon has Asar Thompson going there. I think that's fine. I think Nick Smith would also be somebody that you would consider there. They really need. Yeah, go ahead.
Don't you? I mean, I don't like Cam Whitmore. I really don't. But he really is talented and young, and he is really a guy that can create.
Yeah, I mean, they already have an undersized power forward that scores.
But he's 6'7", and he can play like a wing, not like wing forward.
Yeah.
You don't like that?
I think he's interesting. I think they still need like somebody to stir the drink a little bit, and I would probably swing at Keontae George at this point if I were them.
Okay. That's an okay. Yeah, I know. I just wonder, you have a guy like Vassell who is like okay at playing with anybody who's handling the ball.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's swinging a little bit with Ken Whitmore, saying, okay, he can really create his own shot. He doesn't pass it at all, but maybe
never.
Never. That's the issue. That's why I kind of don't love this draft. There are a lot of players that are.
There's a lot of flawed players that.
Yeah.
Cam is really talented, and I think somebody. I mean, if the Rockets fell further, I think that he's somebody that they would take.
Yeah.
I think that probably Charlotte would take him at 7.
Mm-hmm.
He's explosive. He can really hoop. He's an interesting player. He's playing on a really, really bad Villanova team, which doesn't help his cause. Yeah, I thought I would like him more before the season. You think about 6'7", like beefy, can score, can shoot, plays in transition. Like, oh man, that'd be awesome to play next to Chet. And then you watch him play, and you're like,
yeah, no,
yeah, that's not it. He's not a Thunder player.
You watch possession, say, oh, why are you doing it? Oh no, say, oh, okay, he scored.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, that's not the guy. That's not the guy. Yeah, I would probably take Cam 7th for the Hornets.
Mm-hmm.
And the
The
Pacers.
Hornets in your spin, it's a disaster spin for so
Oh,
many
my
franchises.
Oh,
Just-
for basically for all the bad franchises.
Yeah. Can you imagine the Spurs? Like they are tanking hard. They won last
Oh
night.
boy, yeah. They
Um,
stink. Yeah, I know they beat the Nuggets, but they stink. They're so bad.
Yeah, they are so bad. And you get and all you get is Jarris Walker or Nick Smith or Keontae George or Cam Whitmore. That is a disaster.
I mean, honestly, like the Thunder have been in this position, where they tank and it was ugly and they get picked 6.
They got Josh Giddey. Giddey.
It worked out for them. But
Yeah.
how deflated the fan base felt that night
Yeah.
after the lottery was just like this. I mean, I remember sitting down and just saying, like, this is literally the worst possible outcome for this franchise right now.
Yeah.
And
I remember I don't know he was the guy who was podcasting. Why I don't remember his name. The great guy from Boston, the one that I'm missing so much in Viceni's podcast. Why I'm not remembering the name of the
Matt
guy.
Penny?
Matt Penny.
Yeah.
Great guy, Matt Penny.
Yeah.
Who was in love with Franz Wagner. Say, can you imagine the Thunder getting Franz Wagner? Now, can you imagine the Thunder getting Franz Wagner?
Yeah, it would have been awesome. Giddy's great. I think
Giddy is great
because I think he's got still a little bit higher ceiling with his.
He does
ball handling, passing stuff.
But my point was, hey, after Giddy, there was another player.
There's another one
tanking for.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and we didn't know it at the time.
No.
That's why with this draft too, like you got to let stuff play out. I do think that there's immense talent around, but you have to figure out who it is. I mean, even back with that draft, like no one knew who these. I mean, no one ever knows who these guys are going to be. Just to be honest.
Sorry.
No, bless you. But like, look at how that draft order went. I mean, Cade 1, Jalen Green 2. Jalen Green's not going 2 again.
No.
Evan Mobley was 3. Like Evan Mobley might go 1 if you do this whole thing again. Scotty Barnes at 4, which felt a little high, but that was the right thing to do. I mean, the Thunder
Would you pick him 4?
Huh?
Would you pick him 4 today? If you have to redraft that?
I don't know. There's been issues with Scotty. Definitely.
Would you pick Giddy before him?
I think the defensive upside of Scotty is still there, so I probably would still go Scotty.
For the Thunder?
For the Thunder, if the Thunder were picking 4?
Create your redraft for OKC. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, number 1, Evan Mobley. Number 2, Cade Cunningham. Number 3. Oh, Lord.
Do you remember when we were thinking about drafting the guy from Gonzaga?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I loved him.
Jalen Suggs.
Mostly just because his name was Jalen. Like at this point, if you just take a guy named Jalen, like you're going to be doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Not in this particular draft though.
No.
I would probably just have Scotty at 3, Giddy at 4.
Wow.
I know Giddy has had a better season than Scotty. The upside of a wing or a big that's like so versatile, and I mean, imagine him and Chet next to one another defensively. It would be monstrous.
I don't think that my top 4 will be like yours. I just think that Franz Wagner fits OKC so much.
He does.
Like if you think about a unit with Shea, JDub, Franz Wagner, Chet Holmgren, and whoever you want, even Dort, that unit will destroy everyone.
True. So
Just
would you have Mobley, Cunningham,
Wagner,
Franz,
Giddy?
Franz and Giddy? Yeah.
Yeah, not because I don't think that Giddy's upside is higher,
Mm-hmm.
but if I want to, I think that Wagner would actually maximize his talent and the others, and
Totally.
it would be so easy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going back and forth, but I would pick both Giddy and Wagner before Barnes because I think that his non-shooting is so dangerous.
Yeah.
For OKC.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, I still like his potential. I still think that he would function within what the Thunder do. Okay. Back to this draft. So the rest of the picks before the Thunder, now we can talk Thunder and what we think they could or should do. So 7, Nick Smith to the Hornets, 8, Cam Whitmore to the Pacers, 9, Grady Dick to the Magic, and 10, Keontae George to the Blazers is how this would all hammer out, according to Tankathon.com. Now, the players that are available at 11, Anthony Black, Bryce Sensabaugh, Kaysen Wallace, Dariq Whitehead, Jed Howard, Chris Murray, Rayon Rupert is available, Gigi Jackson, Taylor Hendricks, Maxwell Lewis, lots of different candidates here. Jalen Hood-Schifino, another Jalen. It's not an ideal spot for the Thunder, but I still think there's a lot of talent available. Your thoughts on if this? I mean, this could be a very reasonable outcome for the Thunder.
Is it reasonable for you that OKC has the chance to go up 2 spots pretty easily in this draft? Can we make it this way?
If it's me, I wouldn't spend the assets to do it because I like the guys that are available.
I know you like one guy that is available, and you put him there. I know, but I
didn't put him there.
For the sake of discussion, Andrew. For the sake of discussion, let's make Keontae George, Grady Dick, Ken Whitmore, Anthony Black available because I think that Ken Whitmore is not a Thunder guy at all. So just Keontae George, Grady Dick, Anthony Black. These are the 3 guys that I think have the most talent around there. I think that Keontae George fits OKC a lot. He would just be someone that can really score, can pass the ball. He can drive to the rim. He doesn't have size. But a guy that takes 7 shots from 3 per game, hitting not a great percentage because it's, I think, 35%, around that number. I don't have it in front of me. Now I do, and it's 34.9. But he's shooting 80% from the line.
And it's crept up too because he started off pretty rough.
Exactly. He was up the first 5 games and down, and then he's coming back up. So I think there is an easy place for him to play to play for the Thunder. He's just your guy off the bench that can handle a bit, space the court, hit the shots. Being an alternative to Isaiah Joe, you always need those guys. So a super duper easy pick to make, and I think that he has some juice as an offensive player.
Yeah,
less juice but better shooting. Grady Dick. I know that he is in the mold of Kyle Korver, Corey Kispert. He's a young shooter with size, but literally nothing else, which is not true for any of those players. But the allure is the shooting. It's not that they cannot play basketball. They can move around. They can make a pass. They can rebound. They can fight. But you know that when you see him play, he's not playing the way in which Mark wants to play. He's not the drive first guy. He's not the let's make a crazy good Oki pass if I don't have the best possible shot. He's not that guy.
Fire away.
Yeah. But if you have a 6'7" shooter, I mean, this team will make him shine because he will hit, I don't know, 38% of his shots.
Well, look at it,
immediately.
how Isaiah Joe has shined. You know, like it's not
Yeah.
hard to picture it. It's not hard to imagine a shooter functioning in this offense. You
No.
know, the question is, does he have the upside that a guy like Anthony Black has, or Keandre George for that matter?
I think that the guy with the highest upside here is Anthony Black because of he can do all the other stuff. But also I kind of want to stress this fact. I know that upside has more to do with other stuff that are not shooting, but a shooter has upside in ways that others don't. Like Klay Thompson was not this super duper high level talent, but with his shooting, I mean, I remember when people was questioning if Klay could actually dribble the basketball. Like, can he dribble the basketball twice?
Yeah.
Like, can he? And he is a super duper all-star. And I'm not saying that Grady Dick is that guy, but he is similar in size.
Mm-hmm.
And he will be the same kind of shooter. Not maybe the same, because Klay is literally one of the best clutch shooters in the history of basketball. I mean, 11 of 13 that night. I still have goosebumps in the bad way. So I don't know. Of the three, I would probably rank them: Grady Dick, Anthony Black, and then Keontae George.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, to me, giving space to Shea is the number one priority among all. They already have 4 guys in their potential starting unit that can be elite ball handler and decision maker.
Yeah.
Just put a guy that can hit the shot from everywhere in the court, and you will be okay. You will actually be great if you have a guy with size that can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They will not pick him. I know.
They will not pick him. He's going to be your AJ Griffin of this year. Like, book it.
I like him more than AJ because he's tall.
I like him more than AJ too. But like, I'm just saying, like, book your AJ Griffin feelings for the draft, for draft night, and like just put him on repeat. You know.
Yeah.
Because
84% from the free throw line and 41.2% from 3 on 6 attempts.
Yes. Yeah.
Come on, man. It's easy.
Getting your feelings about it, because I think they're going to take somebody who can do lots of things. And that's why like Anthony Black would be a candidate. I'm not saying they're going to take him. I have no insider knowledge about this, by the way. Like, I don't want people to get the impression that I like have some kind of insight on this. I don't. I am just reading the tea leaves of what they've done in the past and the kind of players that they've picked. And he just checks so many boxes for them. I mean, size for position, check. He's 6'7", 200 pounds. Is he a passer? Yes, absolutely he is. Is he a guy that I think culturally fits the team? Everything that I've heard, yes. He can play multiple positions. He can defend. He can do so many things. I mean, his game against Auburn was outstanding. He had 19 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals in that game. 6 of 8 from 2. He didn't make a 3, but he gets to the free throw line. That's like another thing that he does really, really well. And he was 7 of 9 from the free throw line in that game. Like, getting to the line 9 times, like shooting 9 free throws, is a pretty big deal in college. It's a lot harder to make that happen, and he's a guy that can do that. He's averaging 5 free throws a game in college, which is a lot. He takes threes. He's only making 31% of them. He's shooting 70% from the free throw line.
That's the big bummer for me. And it's the most stay away stat for me right now.
And honestly, he maybe stay away because of that. And I may be overrating him because of all the other stuff that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
Because like take Sohan for instance. Obviously these guys are different players, but like, I'm not confident the Thunder would have even taken Jeremy Sohan in the draft
because of the shooting.
And so Anthony Black might be a guy that they don't take because of the shooting. But I really like his feel. I really like
Yeah.
the way he plays. The shooting is definitely a giant question mark. And it may be a big enough question mark where they're like, yeah, we can't bring this guy in. So, and then if that's the case, I don't know who they go with, at 11 here with Keontae and Grady Dick gone. Then the question is then who?
Then it's Ryan Rupert.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what? That's probably what they do is they take Rayon Rupert at that.
Yeah.
At
Or
that spot.
Is it? Do you think that they will punt this pick?
I don't
Just
think
try-
that's an impossible. That's not something that I think is impossible. Is that they just
Yeah.
say, you know what, this isn't it at 11.
Yeah.
Somebody give us 2 future picks, way down the road, and we'll try again next year.
Yeah.
I don't think that's out of the question.
Yeah. That's something that can actually happen. I'm not in love with this draft for OKC, to be honest with you. There are players that will probably jump higher when it's all said and done. Hendricks is a guy that we will discuss on After Dark soon. I will discuss on After Dark soon. And I have yet to start watching him. There will be players that are right now in this 15 to 25 zone, and they will bump up. There is Derek Whitehead from Duke. He is getting better by the day, and he's a super duper extremely young. He made 16 points in 19 minutes in his last game for Duke against Miami. So, and he's over the past few games, he's actually getting better. So there is a ton of players that are yet to find themselves in this draft. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's going to shape up. I think no one has any clue what to do with a lot of these guys. To be honest, I think that you could have so many different draft orders, and a lot of it is waiting for the lottery. And then, even then, I'm not sure that I could confidently make a mock draft that would resemble what the draft is going to be like at all. So it makes it exciting, certainly, to see how it all shapes up. So thanks so much for listening to this episode. We will be back on Friday with the Fry Pod crew. I think L-Man is returning Friday. I think Jay will not be there Friday, but should be a wild one. So prepare for that. We will talk about the Thunder's week, how they performed in these games, where they're at in the standings, all of that. So get ready for that show. Hope you guys have a great day. We will talk to you guys again on Friday.